I'm Combat Craig, and today I have Joey LaCorey with me, and Joey is a member of our VA Claims Insider Mastery program, and we're going to talk about the Mastery program a little bit, and I wanted to give you 5 tips about it from somebody that's actually in it. So with that, why don't you say hi to the folks, Joey?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody.
So, what was your experience in the military? If you can kind of break it down in a minute or two and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, sure. I did end up doing 5 years. Um, Spent most of my time in Schofield Barracks, Hawaii. Did one long tour over in Afghanistan during that time. It was about a 14-month stint down in Salerno, which is on the Pakistan border. Um, I was a 14 Juliet, so we did radar, but I was one of those gung-ho soldiers and wanted to be all I could be. So I did a lot of extracurricular activities with Special Forces, a couple with the Rangers, PSYOPs, and even the Marines. I went on a couple of missions with the Marines.
Nice.
Got injured over there, did physical therapy, had the option of doing surgery or getting out. I decided to get out and go back to my hometown, Florida.
So, having a super important critical knee surgery at some ghetto-ass military hospital didn't sound like it was up your alley, huh?
No, I was, how old was I at the time? I was about, I was young. I was about 26 years old.
Yep.
And they're talking about reshaping my knee, doing surgery, reshaping my knee. Just didn't sound promising. They didn't have the confident look like, I've done this 1,000 times. They're like, I
Yeah, that
think this can
orthopedic
help you.
surgeon look like I'm the dude. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It was
funny.
more like, we would like to try something.
Joey
I was
Guinea
like,
Pig LaCorey.
yeah. I was like, no, thank you.
All right, cool. So, well, not cool that you ended up getting hurt, but that led you to at some point when you got out, did you file your paperwork and get a rating, or how did that work? Like, how did it go from getting out to getting whatever service connected, and then to kind of where you are now?
So I came back from Afghanistan, did physical therapy for a little while, and my unit was redeploying 9 months later. So I stayed back and was going through physical therapy. I was selected for the OCS program, but they wouldn't take me until I did the surgery. I decided that, it was just time to call it quits and get out. I ended up getting service connected for 10% on my ankle, which I tore when I was in Afghanistan. 10% on my knee, my right knee, and that was for pretty much runner's knee is what they call it. I filed for my shoulder and they denied it, which is interesting later on because I just got approved for it. I had 10% for left wrist, which is a ganglion assist that I kept on doing from, getting in trouble a lot in the military, doing a lot of push-ups. And then 10% for my thumb. So I got out with 40%. I don't know how far you want me to go with other things that I filed as soon as I got out,
No, that's
that's
cool.
what I got out with.
Yeah, that's cool. So basically, they were pretty generous with those handouts here. Here's a 10. Here's a 10. Like, hey, where's my 20s and 30s?
I guess it was the going rate. They told me to put my hand in a bucket. I kept on pulling 10s out. I mean, luck of the draw.
Well, you did a lot better than I did. When I walked out, I was out for, I don't know, till 2005. I got out in 91. That's when I finally went back and got my first 10%. So, yeah, kind of funny how that works. So, you're cruising along, and then you came across, how did you come across Brian and VA Claims Insider, and how long ago was that?
So came across them in July of this year. But the story is when I got out, I went through a tough time. I was really messed up. Got to the, the bottom of the bottom, which is, I've attempted suicide a couple times.
Yep.
And you could, it depends on how gory you want this to get. I've tried to hang myself in front of my wife. I mean, that's how bad it got. I was just angry, emotionless, or I shouldn't say emotionless. The only emotion I had was anger.
Right.
Took it out on everybody. Everybody kept on telling me, you need help, you need help. I deflected it and said, it's all you guys, it's not me. And then one day, I finally kind of realized that I was messed up, submitted a claim for PTSD. This is back in 2009. Ended up getting denied. The funny story is it got denied because they said I didn't submit my stressor VA form, and I was never told. Because if I was told, I think I would have submitted it. So I thought, I was like, okay, I guess I don't have PTSD. I guess I was right and everybody was wrong.
Right.
So we moved up to North Carolina from Florida, and I met somebody who gave me guidance and said to relook at my file because I was going to the VA for all this stuff that I'm still going through, and to resubmit it. And then I got notification for my CMP exam, and type of person I am, I like to over prepare. I'm going to study until I feel like an expert at it.
Right.
So I started Googling CMP exam preparation, just typing all kinds of keywords.
Right.
And I came across, and then I started going to YouTube. It kept on taking me to YouTube videos. And I came across Brian Reese's video, and it just hit me. It was like this connection. Like I felt like he knew exactly what I was going through. So then I just started looking at all his videos, and I reached out to his program, the VA Claims Insider, and I wanted to join the program, but they felt it was best that I go through the Mastermind program, which would give me the information I needed to prepare for my CMP exam. So I felt like it was a great company, and ended up joining the Mastermind program and unlocked a whole new list of videos to further help me beyond just the CMP exam I was really trying to prepare for.
So that's probably a good distinction. Well, 2 points. I did the same thing. When I was ready, I was getting ready, and I like to be prepared as well. And I'm learning, and yeah, once I got on YouTube and I started watching Brian, it was just boom, like that. Like I knew he didn't even have to talk very much. It's crazy. It's like, wow, this dude, not only, this is whole different level stuff, but this guy gets it. And he could help me.
He's a mind reader.
Right, right. Yeah, this guy's psychic. So when you called them, you had already got out for 40%. You had, obviously, you had a very severe case of PTSD, obviously, by the story you just shared with me. And then you got some insight along the way, and you got a CNP exam. So you were pretty much on your way, and you were confident, and and you talked to VA Claims Insider. Did you ask to sign up for the elite program, or how'd you end up in the master program?
So what happened was I was going through and I read the contract, and I had questions. There were some words in the contract about claims that were already in process and all this. And I just wanted to have a personal conversation with somebody that was a part of the organization, and for them to recommend to me what I should do. So I typed in my contact information. Rochelle Ware reached out to me, gave her the whole story, and asked her for her opinion.
She's awesome, by the way.
She is
I've met
awesome.
her.
She is
She's great.
she is on point. Gave me some great advice. She got back to me and she talked to a couple of people, so it wasn't just her saying I recommend. She went and said, let me ask around and get some thoughts on it.
Right.
So she came back probably the same day, I believe, and said, we think it's best, since you're so far into the process, that you use the mastermind program and the videos in there to help you prepare for your current claim.
Right.
And I felt like that was great advice. Felt like it was very honest thing to say, where they could have said, yeah, join the LEAP program and so will give you a call and he'll help you prepare for the exam. So
right.
So it was great advice. Took it, and it was well received.
Yeah, that it's nice for people to know that. I see a lot of people that have the contracts gnarly, and the way things are set up are kind of gnarly, and it's hard to explain, especially if you have mental health problems and you've just gotten your ass kicked by the VA for so long. But you have to reach out and talk to somebody and figure out, like, these guys they want to figure out the best way to help you to get to, the result you're after. So yeah. That's nice. I wasn't expecting you to say that part. So, you got in. Are you a member of the VA Claims Insider Mastermind Facebook group?
Yes. Yep. So right afterwards, she told me about the Facebook portal or Facebook page. Yep. And she explained it like it's a place where you could post questions and get feedback from somebody that's already been through the process, or maybe it's something that somebody else is trying to figure out themselves as well. And since I've been on there, people on there are great, very knowledgeable, very experienced, because it's probably something they went through. And I say that because I see myself commenting on other people's posts, right, saying, guess what? This is what happened to me. And it's everybody telling their story. There's going to be a couple of different stories, but at least you can gauge where everybody ended up based on your question. So that is a huge benefit right there, just to have access to other people that's going through the same thing, and that may have already gone through what you've gone through. So a perfect example is what I see is right now that I'm answering is, the people that are on there saying, hey, really nervous, really anxious. I got my PTSD C&P exam tomorrow morning. I need some help, any advice out there? Mm-hmm. Well, I've went through that. So I can say, this is how mine went, and this is what I think would help you. And I give my advice, and theirs may go differently, but it's just what I experience and what other people experience, and that we could all share as a community of brothers and sisters and help each other out during this process.
Absolutely.
Yep.
That's a good point. I actually have some workers' comp stuff going on in my life, and those kinds of independent medical exams where they're just totally not independent at all, they're totally on the hook for the insurance company. There's no comparison, but I had to go through that and a couple C&P exams to understand that the C&P exam, really, they are going off the DBQ, and it's really, the stressful part, especially if you're talking about a mental health problem, the stressful part is opening up and being vulnerable and telling them what's going on, and talking about how you, tried to hang yourself in front of your wife. Like, that's hard to talk about in front of in any scenario. So, but they're not just in there like looking to trip you up, and there's hidden questions. But I get it. If you haven't been through any kind of medical exam, and you just kind of hear rumors. So yeah, the Facebook group is good for a lot of things, but I would say it is right on point. The VCEs are in there, Brian's in there, and I'm a member of a couple different Facebook groups. And there's people that they just want to talk, and I get it. It's kind of that social media experience. Hey, what do you think? And there's 25,000 people in there, and tee hee and ha ha, like all over the board advice. It's completely useless crap. So yeah, I've found the same thing, and I chime in too. If it's something that I could speak to and I know about, and I know I'm going to put good info out there, it's helpful, right? Because you've been in that position. You may be in there again where you want like the exact the right answer, or get to it. So yeah, cut out all the crap and just have people that are basically knowledgeable.
Yep.
So that's cool. We both got the same thing out of the mastermind group and continue to. I'm fascinated by the VA claims process, and I was born to sit here and get on video and work with Brian. So I love learning about all this stuff. It's just a weird time in my life. So the Facebook group is a great source for me to get info. So let's move through. So one of the things that you get when you join up or sign up for the mastery program, you get access to medical experts that will help you with DBQs and Nexus letters. Did you take advantage of that part? And can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I did. So I've used them on 3 occasions so far. So I'm not done. So far I've used them for the PTSD. And as I said, I joined them right before I was having my CMP. So what I did was I used the med team to do the PTSD, to do the DBQ and the Nexus letter, to submit online to my claim and match that with the one that the VA contracts out.
Oh, okay. So you submitted your own to basically match up with the one that came from the CMP one.
Yeah.
Or to put what equipose, or yours is stronger. Something.
So mine was stronger.
Yeah.
So it gives me the opportunity, if I decide is to have a higher level review. So I had 2 ratings. They decided with the VA, so it gives me an opportunity to take that as a high level review and see what goes wrong from there. The other one I used it for was the sleep apnea, and I used it for GERD, acid reflux. Those 2 are supposed to be decisioned like tomorrow. I mean, it's already in pending approval. And I feel strongly about those. They wrote great Nexus letters. So with them, not only do you get this Nexus letter, it's the letter with their medical opinion that ties it back to service connection or to the service alone, or the DBQ, but they also submit with them articles that medical doctors have written in regards to what you're filing for that claim. And they also submit the Board of Appeals decisions that say, hey, for example, like sleep apnea, I tied it to PTSD. So there gave me 5 case studies of Board of Appeals decisions where it says, yes, PTSD or sleep apnea is tied to PTSD. So when you submit stuff like that and you're the rater, you're like, dang, Board of Appeals, they said it's tied. So who am I to say it's not tied? So I think it just makes it really strong on your behalf.
Yeah, each one of those pieces, everything is evidence, and everything is going to make the goal is to make the VA rater's job easier to say yes.
Exactly.
Digging through and duty to assist, there's just boom, 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 boom. Yep. And, when I got my Nexus letter and DBQ and diagnosis, I had it all in one. And it was like, when I read that, I was like, I don't know how much I'm going to win. This is a winner. I mean, you just know. It's like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah. Yep.
So was the did the med team look at your medical records and help you with
Yep.
some of these other
Yeah.
connections, GERD? And can you talk to that?
Yeah. So what you do is when you get assigned to the med team, they create a Google Drive for you where you upload your VA records, you upload your civilian records, you upload your military active duty records, you upload whatever it is that you want them to take a look at. And the first part of it is, and I don't know if you want me to share numbers because I'll probably be wrong on it. But the first part is you pay a small fee and they'll review it.
Mm-hmm.
If they feel like they can't write it, they're just going to say, I don't have
Right.
enough.
Nothing. Right. We'll look, and if it's not there, it's not there.
Yep. And then, or otherwise, they'll say, yes, I could write you the Nexus and DBQ and all that based on everything you submitted to me. So you upload everything to Google Drive, and it's a shared drive. So you can upload stuff, they can upload stuff, and it's shared between the two of you. And
this must be the HIPAA compliant drive. I'm sure it is. Yeah. Okay. That's an interesting part too, because I guess you didn't really know that going in, or did you know that going in that like you submit stuff and they could have come back and said, hey, there's nothing here? Did you know that before you asked them for the review?
No, it was part of their original onboarding orientation type thing. It was like they made it black and white saying, like, I can't guarantee, like you know what you're looking for. And they pretty much say, I can't guarantee it. I'll review it. And if I find the evidence, I'll write my opinion to support it.
It's interesting, totally going down the rabbit hole a little bit. I've really done a lot of searches on my own C file and my medical records, and I've combed through them, and the ferocity with which I once had has dissipated. I'm now at 100%, and I know what I need to do to stay at 100%. Just keep going to the VA and just keep being me. I'm crazy for sure. Just not go do something stupid and say, hey, everything's all hunky-dory all of a sudden. But I am curious. I've always just been curious for my own curiosity, have somebody go through and see what else is in there. I think I know what's in there. I'd actually just be curious to see what I don't know about what's in there, because these medical records, there's just tons of stuff in there. They know what they're looking for,
So, so to that point, when I had her review my file for specifically, I asked for PTSD because, that's what my C&P exam was for, like a few days later. And you have the option to do like a rush. So I did the rush, and they do like a really quick turnaround time because I needed.
So they were like, you were basically, you had a C&P exam, so in your focus was that. So it's kind of more like a focus on the mental health stuff. You don't need to go through with a magnifying glass.
Well, so they send you a questionnaire, and you answer the questionnaire, and one of the questions on there was, is there any other areas you would like us to look at, or something like that? I don't know exactly what it said. And I was, in a way, being funny, but in a way being serious. I was like, find me anything. Right. You tell me, what am I missing? And that's when they came back, and I would have never known, because I didn't get that far in videos yet. The GERD, they're the ones that told me about the GERD was caused by the NSAIDs, the non-steroidal, taking the painkiller medicines.
Yep.
I never known that. And then the sleep apnea. So sleep apnea, I had two things I could have tied it to. I could have tied it to being overweight or obesity, which causes sleep apnea, which is all from the physical pain that I'm in and I can't work out like I used to.
Yep.
Or the PTSD. And I'm sure there's other things, but
right.
Like, hey, you could tie this to that, get this approved, you could tie it to that. And they just started creating all these little roads to follow. So that's how all that came about.
That's that's interesting, and you're right. Yeah, what do you want me to look for? I'm literally a layman and a veteran. I know nothing about like whatever is in there. I don't even know what's wrong with my brain, but I'm going with a PTSD thing. I just know that I tried to hang myself in front of my wife, right? I don't know what physically is wrong with me. Yeah, please look for whatever, do what you do. So that's it's an interesting perspective. That makes me, again, that makes me want to just go do that process just so I'm just curious.
Yeah, I mean, when I first started, like I didn't even know I can get 100%.
Right.
But when they start saying, "Oh, well, you have this and this and this," I'm like, "Can I get 100%?" Like now it starts making my wheels turn. Like, like so for the example is like, and I don't know if this is like if you could label this for everybody, but it's with me was I was the type when I was in the military, when I got hurt, I tried to shake it off. Like when people got hurt, it was a thing. We said, take a knee, drink water. I don't know if who's ever heard of that, but that's what we said to each other. You know, it was take a knee, drink water. Like med call was not an option.
Even
you
to
you
your
go to
point,
med call.
even though I was in the Air Force, they didn't even say that to us.
You
But
go to med call.
I definitely agree. It's not, oh, I got an owie. I better, where's the med tent? And you better send me back to the States so I get a thorough checkup. Yeah.
Yeah. Listen, I don't regret doing the military thing. I love the
Yep.
military, but it was where I was. It was like it was a very competitive unit. It was who can be better than who, and if you went to med call, like you're coming back mowing the lawn, or you're coming
Right.
back painting curves. And I was like, I'm not painting no curves. Like I'm not going to med call.
Right. You're going up. You're involved in all these other
Yeah.
extra things. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're at a whole different level of not
Yeah.
complaining about stuff. Yeah, that totally makes sense.
So.
All right, cool. So, is there anything else that you would like whoever's watching to know about the mastery program? And after that, I definitely would like to come back and chat with you. Especially, I'm going to chat with you anyway in a couple of days. I'm curious to see if that decision actually lands on time and what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, is there anything else about the program now we haven't specifically shared? I think we covered most of the points.
I just want to say, from my experience, great program, great people. They're there for you. They've been doing it for a little while now. Just trust what they say. Trust their process. There is there's a plan. Everything may not work out. You know, it's not Christmas every day. You're going to
There
go
are
through
no guarantees.
There's
Absolutely.
no guarantees, but there's no guarantees, but they will put you in a better spot with their guidance than you do on your own. And that's from my
The best
experience.
spot, I would argue.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah,
I
because you're
mean,
just going to keep going back and
yeah.
here's my personal statement. I got PTSD. Yeah, that's great. No diagnosis, no
Yeah.
nothing. Eat it.
So yeah, I mean, and for whatever the cost is, for me, I made up that cost in 1 month.
Yep.
I'm getting it for the rest of my life.
Yep.
For the rest of my life. They helped me in a better spot than I was before. I can't thank them enough. Great group of people, and I'm just happy I just stumbled across it on YouTube, and grateful for everything they've done for me.
Awesome. Cool. Well, thanks for the kind words, and we're going to sit here and get another video going. But for this one, Combat Craig and Joey LaCorey off. Out.
Out.